How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? This podcast today is brought to you by Bevel. This is the company that has the power to take yourself from needs some work to the best damn face in the room. It's all about what is in your toolbox. So for far too long, men with coarse and curly hair haven't been given the confidence or the best tools to shave with confidence. From skin irritation to razor bumps to a lack of holistic shaving systems, there have always been more problems than solutions available. Fellas, haven't you been feeling that right? There's no solutions to shaving at all? After years of dealing with these issues himself, founder Tristan Walker knew the only way to fix these problems was to reimagine a classic way of shaving. Why? Why is this so important? Well, you ever look at pictures from 100 years ago? See how no one has razor bumps and yet they're all clean shaven. They didn't even know what a beard was back then. They were just all nice, spiffy, spick and span, and they were dapper. The answer to these solutions is in the design of the bevel razor. Single blade safety razors are made to cut hair at skin level. That means less tugging, less pulling, and less skin irritation. This helps prevent coarse, curly hair from growing back as razor bumps by growing back beneath the skin. See, it's beneath the skin, not above it. Using a single blade and supporting techniques, safety razors employ simple ideas that have powerful results for your skin. Equally functional and beautiful, the bevel razor is a legacy, an ode to the power of combining history and ingenuity for the greater good of your everyday routine. You can get Bevel at getbevel.com. That's getbevel.com, getbevel. It's just been a long day. It was a good podcast, a really good podcast. We hope that you enjoy it. Take a listen, and if you're tired listening to the ads, remember, just skip a couple minutes forward, and you'll get straight to the good stuff. Here we go. Live. What's going on?
Are we starting?
We're starting.
Oh, man.
We're starting.
I was waiting for the advertisement.
Oh, no, I did that while you were out getting some kombucha.
Some susha. They were out of kombucha.
What is kombucha?
Everybody's onto it.
It's
like organic a tea, if I can believe that's right. It's you know what I use kombucha for? It helps soothe my stomach, and it helps clean my throat, I believe. But it makes me feel good. It makes me feel really good after a night of drinking or something like that. That's a couple years ago, but everybody's on to kombucha.
Well, kombucha, and what else is it? Sauerkraut, which I use daily. Basically, they goodness gracious, give me 1 second. Let me answer this. Sorry, folks, I got to take this emergency phone call. Derek's gonna entertain you.
Kombucha is a variety of fermented light teas, black tea, but there's a lot of sugar, I believe, and some of the name brands that you have, like Trader Joe's, stuff like that. They have alcohol in them, but it won't get you drunk. Only if you drink like 10 of them. But I think it's really good after you're sick. And then the ginger shot at Jamba Juice. That's something that I really enjoy. If you got a sore throat, strep throat, I get a $2 shot of ginger root, the shot, and it makes me feel so good. It makes me feel clean. It actually knocks you out. It's like a tequila shot. It's really good. But for today, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're going to be talking about net neutrality. Also the economy. All the fun stuff. We're also going to be talking about Derek's new book coming up. For me, myself, I'm going to get ready for this new year and talk about my goals for 2018 and make sure that I am better than I was in 2017. 2016 was really good for me. This year was even better, and let's see if we can do the trifecta of 3 years. Let's make it look like, The Last Jedi. I thought the Star Wars movie was really good, too. Very long movie. I think it was like 3 hours. And I'm someone that likes Star Wars, not really a huge fan. I enjoy watching the movies, but half the time I don't know what's going on. I don't know any of the characters. I don't know anything that's going on. So, man, Susha's pretty good. It's a new brand, Susha, vibrant, probiotic, organic. This flavor has water, strawberry, raspberry. It's a refreshment that ensues touch of tart, lemon, honey, tart cherry. It sounds like I'm rambling, but this is the graphic that they put on this bottle. to be probiotic CFUs per bottle. No idea what that means, but contact the podcast and let me know what it is. Yeah, and if you have any topics you want to talk about, or if you want to be a guest on the show, if there's a local guest in the area, the Inland Empire area of California, of the United States, contact the podcast, saying it differently, at gmail.com, and let us know what you want to hear, who you want to hear it from, and the direction of where this podcast wants to go. Because essentially, we don't want you just to press play and then press stop. So we want you to keep listening. We want you to support the show. You were helping us get our voices out there and actually get people who have muted voices heard. So that's our goal for this podcast, saying it differently. Derek Contreras is a very talented artist. He's a great book writer. He's a DJ. He's a wonderful boyfriend, I believe. I have no experience with him, but that's what I hear. He's a very loving and emotional character. So here he is. I think I think it's just going to be the Derek Chandler show today. So what else? I think P. Diddy has enough money, he wants to buy the Panthers. So that's interesting. You okay? Call the cops.
Okay, people. So listen, this is something that I've learned happens. I'm sorry, what were you talking about right now?
I was just doing a little over. I was rambling. Going
okay,
over
you're
about
rambling. Okay,
Susha.
So for the ladies listening to this podcast, I'm sure that at some point, and I might have to bail off in a second, but this is a very good topic. Before we get into net neutrality, which I really would love to discuss.
I was going to talk about the economy too.
Yeah, the economy and just a number of things. This is something that I've noticed, and in light of the Harvey Weinstein, in light of all the rape cases, in light of everything that is coming into fruition with recent news outlets and whatnot, and what's just happening in the world. It seems sexual assault has been, pretty hidden, and it's all coming out to the light, but there's still much that women have to deal with on a daily basis. And I extend this out to women of all kinds, not just those that we would consider beautiful or this and that. Those that would seem weak, those that would seem unable to protect themselves or to get away from men and their strength and their power. So we have a situation going on right now where I guess I'll just be blunt. My girl is going through a canyon at night, and I don't like her going through canyons at night. And so apparently, before she turns into the canyon, a guy looks at her through her see-through windows, which is why I want to get them tinted. She just got a brand new car a couple days ago, and he's been in the canyon going 5 miles an hour. And when she tries to go around him, he blocks her. And so I guess this has been happening for the past 20 minutes. And I've been on the phone with her trying to guide her through. And, she just got out of the canyon and he is following her now. And so she will be meeting with the cops. This is literally like a live update. Like this is happening as we speak. I know a lot of girls who end up calling the cops and having to meet the cops like at a parking lot or at an intersection of some sort, but this isn't the first time something like this has happened.
With her?
With her.
Oh, wow.
People always try to follow her. And this isn't the first girl either. This happens to many women. And it's actually really embarrassing, not for, just to have that story, but it's embarrassing. Like, guys do this? Guys do this shit?
I think to speak on the behalf of males, some guys do it. Some guys who have problems do it. And it's one of those things, I think they face so much rejection. They turn into this character and they start to hate women. And
do you think it's a hate or an obsession? Because hate would imply that, they can't stand them. They want to inflict pain or some type of sorrow onto this other person. But an obsession would be, oh, I just saw this girl. I have to have her. And there's something that I'm learning about brain chemistry. And, think about the evil villain. The evil villain never thinks they're doing wrong. something in their brain is telling them that this morality, that this might be ingrained in your system, it's actually hardwired to be different. So like let's take all the people that participated in communism and Hitler. Hitler thought he was legit right. He thought he was really helping out his nation by eradicating people that were doing harm to him. Now, whether or not who's right and who's wrong, obviously he's wrong for taking the actions that he did. But let's say he was right and the Jews were gentrifying the German areas, and that's why he promoted this hate speech to eradicate them rather than, do politics and, build German businesses. And it reminds me a lot of what the black community sometimes can be, instead of reinvesting within themselves, sometimes they might, say, hey, they might shift the blame so the action doesn't carry on to them. But I mean, there's a number of other variables as to why the black community feels what they feel, and that's not to take away from that. But they think that they're not wrong. They think that they're right. So a guy that might be stalking a woman might actually be thinking, hey, if I slam on my brakes and I trap her in this canyon, she might and I get her, she might like me. Like that shows like a dedication, a persistence that other guys don't have. Or maybe they're just sick in the head. They want to kidnap, they want to make this girl theirs. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's really weird because I've gotten numerous phone calls, and I had a friend some time ago who actually called me crying, not knowing what to do. She, eventually, I've been behind a car before where somehow I've made every single turn as them, and it happens to be a girl. You could tell it's a girl in the car, and then I'm like, oh no, so I keep my distance, and I'm trying not to I'll try to take a different road, but we end up in the same road. I'm like, shit, now she thinks I'm following her. I'm not. I just happen to be going the same exact way from the start of where we were driving from. And it's got to be tough. And so she had called me crying, and I said, call the cops, and they're going to tell you to meet them somewhere, because cops actually get this phone call a lot. Hey, where are you at? Okay, we have stay on the phone with me. I'm going to dispatch an officer to meet you in this parking lot, and then they'll get there and the car will go vroom, vroom, and take off the other way. And so this is actually a problem that I'm really finding, because it's obviously close to home. It's in my backyard. It's in my house. Yeah. Essentially.
Is she okay? Did she get the license plate number?
As far as I know, she's calling the cops, or she is calling her father to, because she's literally right by her house.
Yeah.
So she's probably a minute away from her house. So come outside, and be good. So, I mean.
Okay. Man, that's crazy, because that same thing happened to a friend of mine. Guy from, I guess a patient from her work showed up at her house because he had information and just showed up
what do you mean
at her house looking for her mother. He had, I don't know how he got information to the address. Maybe he followed her home or something like that from work. But isn't that crazy? To follow, I was just saying hi, or I was, it's crazy.
Fellas, look. If a woman wants you, when you get into a vehicle and you feel the need to follow someone, you are absolutely 100% wrong. Don't ever follow a woman. Don't ever follow a woman. Don't walk behind her. You have to understand. There's a reason, if a man gets raped, it's viewed as nothing, because men are 5 times more powerful on any given day than the majority of women. And so that's why it's terrifying when they feel the presence of a man that they're uncomfortable with.
I necessarily don't agree with. Some men could get raped, though. You might have a small male and a big Bertha or something like that attacking you. But in that situation, you kind of been where's your power at? But not everybody's an equal size.
I've gotten raped before.
You've gotten raped before?
Yeah.
Why are you smiling about it?
Oh, because it was by a girl.
I'm hoping it was.
Yeah, well,
I hope it was.
No, what was it a comedian? He said, there's a lot of women that obviously have been raped, but there's a lot of men that have been raped.
Yeah.
But they're not going to say anything. They're going to take that shit to the grave with them.
Yeah.
And so let me tell you what happened. I, during a very bad time of my life, I didn't really have the mental ability to stick through anything, or I have very deep and dark thoughts. I was very depressed, very, thinking about things that I shouldn't be. And so during a panic attack one night, I had called this girl over that I knew would like come over. Like I needed someone to like just be there. Like I was extremely
like
platonically. I was extremely
not a tryst.
Yeah, I was not mentally healthy in any regard. She comes over. I like try not to like break down, and I'm like just like crying, and so we make our way upstairs to just like get me in my bed to like I'm literally distraught, you know?
Yeah.
And so I guess she thinks lying in the bed with me would be a healthy thing for me, and before I know it, like she's like, yeah,
She's like, she's like, yeah, what?
Like we're getting it on, but I'm like telling her I don't want to do this, but I'm like so distraught and so like messed up in the head, like I don't know what's going on.
How'd you get aroused? Because that's my question. Like when a man gets raped, well, how does he get to full staff? You know, how does that happen?
Ooh.
You know
well,
what I mean?
it's one way that I heard a woman say it. It's okay, yeah, like I'm gonna get like wet down there if a guy rapes me, but that doesn't mean I want, like you can get tickled still, even though you don't want to be tickled. You know what I mean? And so it's like your body knows, because your body is separate from what your mind is. So like, you ever been in class and the teacher calls you up and you're all, yeah, give me 20 minutes to stand up and go to the front of the class to present my project because you have like a just a boner that came out of nowhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I've never.
So
I've had
one of those type
situations
of
like
things.
that. You know, it's more of like at the doctor's office. You have a female doctor's like, please let me not have this.
Yeah.
You know, a friend of mine had a massage the other day at the office, and I guess the masseuse was very attractive, and he was in a medical gown. And, you know, she was like in his inner thigh and stuff like that. And I'm like, see, I couldn't put myself in a situation like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guess I'm too healthy. You know, my body's too healthy to not perform. So, you know, or to always perform, you know? So,
yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think about it, though. Think about it. You 100% didn't want it. But how do you still maintain? Because it's a focus point. The blood has to, you got to be, you know, the sensation's got to be there to be at full staff. I don't know. I'd challenge that.
Well, no means no, doesn't it?
No does mean no, but
I see. I wasn't.
What did you do to? Did you push her off? Did she tie you down? Did she hold you down?
I just kept saying no, but like I said, I was very distraught. I was not within my own mental ability to make executive decisions.
How does she know that?
Because she was there taking care of somebody who was clearly not in his right mind.
Okay, so if you were to press charges and they would fill it out, the lawyer would look at the prosecutor. What do you call it? The defendant?
The defense or
the defense?
or
yeah,
the prosecutors. Yeah.
Well, no, the prosecutor would prosecute. No, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
That's already done.
Yeah.
We already have your argument. You were raped. Then we have. It's not a joke though. I mean, relationships. We're just analyzing it. I'm not trying to make it a joke, but the defense would say, you where's the text messages? You invited her over. You opened the door. You invited her upstairs. There's no signs of a struggle. There's no marks on you.
Well,
you can't do a rape kit. Can you do a rape kit on a man?
No.
See, that's the questions.
Well, yeah, you test the girl for me.
No. No. I don't think that's how it works. Now, the rape kit works if they'll test you and see if you were inside her. That's what the rape kit's going to show. And then they're going to take pictures of her, your hands and your body and see if there's any marks, any signs of a struggle. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It's an interesting one.
I don't know. But can I ask some details? Was it just like traditional, or was there any kind of foreplay? Was there foreplay?
No.
It was just straight into it.
Just straight like
into it.
Got on top and just like, I'm like, what the hell's going on?
It's another personal question. Was there protection involved?
Yeah, I don't know how there was, but there was.
That's my thing.
But
that's my thing. So if you're saying no,
so that's a double standard then. Because
who had
if a guy who rapes a girl somehow gets protection, is it rape now? But if she's able to get protection on me, it's not rape because
I don't know. You have to literally. I mean, if you were going to do it quickly enough, you'd have to tear it a little bit. Tear the prophylactic a little bit. Right? Mm-hmm. Then have two fingers, your two strongest fingers on your hand that's the strongest. Slide it out. Roll it on. Hopefully, 50% chance that you slide on the right side. You know what I'm talking about? You slide it on the... So that's what I'm talking about. So
All right, well,
there's a lot of variables
there's
there.
a very famous case, and I'm really bad. You're gonna learn through this podcast. I'm really bad with like what the case name was or when did it happen.
The case number.
Yeah, whatever. All these things
date.
to identify that give the specific facts. I will never remember. But there was a case, and it was in a college. A guy and a girl were texting, and they were talking about they were talking all sexual things. Hey, I want to do this to you, or hey, can you do this to me? Like the girl was saying, hey, do this to me. I want you to bang me. I want you to do this, and they're having 100% going back and forth on what they want to do to each other, and so they end up getting together, and they got drunk, and they had sex, and it was just like any other thing that you and I have gone through, whether it be in college, whether it be here or there. It seems like totally just another story in your book, and you go on with life,
Just like last night.
Well. You last night?
No, you had a party last night.
Oh, no.
I didn't get invited to, but
You did, but you're on black people time. I wanted to come at 1 a.m. So,
that's when the party starts.
but basically, what happens is after this girl gets home, I guess a couple days later or weeks later, she's out with her friends and she tells them about the experience that she had, and they said, "Oh, you were drunk? Well, how were you able to consent to this sexual altercation? That's rape." Well,
I know. Where does that come from?
Well, and see what happened is apparently there's a law within all universities that if there's any sexual assault, it's automatically you get kicked out of school. There's a law that eliminates due process, which eliminates the ability to go to court to see if this is true, if this is fact-based, evidence-based.
Is this in all states?
All states, I believe. And so it's under, I believe, Title IX. That universities can remove due process. So basically, if you get accused of rape or any sexual assault in a university, you don't get to go to court for it. They just take whoever said the allegation, they take their word for it, and that's how it was written. So a lot of universities right now are actually getting sued, and they're losing because they removed due process. They removed the ability to have a court mandated system, dictate on whether or not what is right. So this kid gets kicked out, and he's like, well, what the fuck? Like, no, I was drunk too. What about my consensual rights? And so that's a big thing that's going on in the universities is, well, what is sexual assault? My mom comes in my room the other day, and she goes, Steve Edwards, Derek, Steve. And do you know who Steve Edwards is? Okay, Steve Edwards is the anchor, is the host of Good Day LA, and he's been there for 20 plus years since I was a little boy.
Steve Edwards.
Yeah, look him up. Just look up
Steve Edwards.
Steve Edwards. Yeah,
gray hair. With is him, and then it reminds me of Hugh Hefner and on Fox 11. Right?
Okay, yeah. Exactly. So
I didn't hear about it.
It's very quiet. Very quiet. So apparently, I think 3 to 4 women have come out saying that they were sexually assaulted by him, and it really made me extremely sad because not that he was a role model or an icon or anything special to me, but he was a part of my childhood.
Wow.
Busted, huh?
A couple days ago, Steve Edwards. Man.
What are they saying?
Jillian Barber or Barbie Berry. That's no, not her. But I always, if you know Steve Edwards, like a couple years ago, you'll see Julian and then Julie Chang. Wow.
Araxia.
You know what? I'm going on a limb here. I think that just like you were trying to define sexual assault, I'm wondering if this was like, I'm only doing this for a certain advantage, or this happened here, and maybe I was a little drunk, and now I'm changing what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm changing what happened. Like, why is it all of a sudden now these things are happening? Like, I understand the Fox was it CEO?
Matt Lauer?
No, that's ABC.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if he did anything wrong. You know what I mean? Because if you pinch somebody on the butt, is that sexual assault?
Yes. Okay, this is the problem of it all.
But if I pinch you on the butt,
it's because.
But is it where I pinch you? I don't know. Like when you pinch somebody on the ear.
Well, this is what my mom said when she comes in. Steve, She just kept saying Steve, and like
Yeah.
she had this mortified look.
Because she probably watched him for years
And
too.
she loves Steve. I love
Yeah.
like whenever I go on her, like I still live at home. You know, I'm trying to prepare my finances for bigger things. And shoot, judge me, I don't care. But like, you know, I'll go.
You still got free Wi-Fi. I'm gonna back you up here. Free Wi-Fi,
Free
on-site laundry. You got parking. You got street parking.
I got
All
driveway
included?
parking.
You're in a villa right now, and let's just say that you're taking care of your parents because they got to
Yeah.
go upstairs.
See, look at
they
that,
can't
yeah.
lift stuff
See,
anymore.
I assist them. I run businesses with them.
you got
so,
the Wi-Fi connection up if it goes down.
But my mom just looked at me. She goes, "Who's next?" She goes, "I don't believe it. I don't believe that Steve sexually assaulted anyone. I want to see evidence now, and I want to see a real court case go through." And she goes, and I had this conversation. She goes, "What is sexual assault? Seriously, what is
Yeah.
it? It seems like every man is just getting pegged. And is it a power move? Is it I have something against him?" Because Steve is one of the only anchors that's remained through the ages. He's one of the few that's last. There's so many women that come and go. There's so many men that come and go. So is it a spite thing that, hey, screw this guy? Or is it we know how society is going to act towards you once we tell them that you were sexually assaulted, we automatically win the court case. So is it that type of thing? What do we...
I don't even know if they're actually charging him, but it seems like if there's any allegations, they're just fired on the spot. I don't know what is this to save face for the company, but to your point is Mark Brown from Channel 7. He's been there for a while, so you know that's the Los Angeles ABC Channel 7 network out of Glendale. I'm, you know, hopefully he's safe. I mean, but a lot of these are older white males or middle-aged white males. So,
Yeah.
so we'll see. And I think there's that thing going on with Trump too.
Yeah.
That with Billy Bush recorded him saying, well, I think it's something about you can do anything you want because you have power, status, and money.
That wasn't the locker room conversation where he said, grab him by the...
No, this is something different. He was on like an interview and he said, you do anything you want with these women. But I'm like, well, if a rapper said that, it would be true, right? Because there would be groupies. Everybody's all over you.
Is that wrong? Okay, it sounds like a dickhead thing to be like, but is that wrong for what he's saying? And it's only because you have to understand, like, let's say you come across a woman and you're black. I'm Mexican. You come across a woman and she like shudders when she sees you. But in her experience, she lives in a neighborhood where, you know those apartments where there's a couple black people, they might like the black guy, the drug dealer, and that causes problems in her neighborhood. And it's not saying all black people are drug dealers, no. But what if her interaction with a black man as of recent, or maybe something that scarred her, was negative? So whenever she gets around whenever she gets around another black man, she has that same feeling. That's what being prejudiced is. And we all have prejudices in different ways. I think that this type of person is this way. I think that this type of person is this way. But imagine Trump. He's had fame, power, wealth, and everything that you could classify as that power in his hands his whole entire life. So think about the amount of women that go up to him and just try to throw it at him. He's probably had an insurmountable amount of girls throw themselves at him. And the chances that they'll get rich or he'll buy them something or for whatever. So when he speaks, he's speaking from what he knows, he understands. So he's like, yeah, these women will come up and just throw themselves at you. They'll let you grab them by the...
Yeah.
And that's what he's speaking it of. Is it wrong? I think it is.
I mean, to this point, actually, it's true. When you're in a place, and you know, alcohol is involved usually with all these events. But if you're in your certain place, you can get away with a lot of this stuff. I mean, stuff does happen. It's unbelievable. Like when I was a kid. Or 18 rather, and you go out into the real world, and then you're 21, you're in the clubs, and you're just like, wow. You're just wow. You're just like, I can't believe this is what actually goes on.
Wow, in what way? What do you mean? What's going on?
For one of the first times I saw a friend do coke on the table, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, what? You just really did coke right now. Like, oh my God. And I met some guy in Vegas. I was early in Vegas at a club, going to the restroom. For some reason, I just started talking to this Asian guy, and he was like, yeah, man, I got a bunch of drugs on me. I just pop a couple pills in these girls' drinks, and that's it.
What?
He puts like ecstasy or whatever. I don't even know what he does, but he drugs these women in their drinks. He probably buys them a drink and puts something in it. and I guess maybe he goes home with them or tries to. And I've heard that's happened to a lot of women. Like personally, they said, "Yeah,
that's assault on the highest." I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No.
Tell the full story of what you know about this guy.
I don't know him. That's what he told me, and I was like, "Man, you crazy, man."
Why did he tell you this though?
I don't know, because he was probably on drugs himself at that time, because I remember him being pretty like crazy lit.
And his self-control was low?
I think he was, no, the club was just starting. It was early, like, probably like 10:30. And I think a lot of people try to get hyped. And he was just finding someone to talk to. I think he's probably by himself. So when you're by yourself, you're solo. Like a lot of people admit to crimes and stuff with strangers. They're like, yeah, I just did this. Because they want to tell somebody.
Yeah.
But they don't want to tell like the right people. But... going back to your point earlier, when I used to leave college, like it would be so cold, and I'm trying to get to my car, so I have to walk from one point of the campus. It's probably like maybe 1.5 miles, 2 miles, whatever, and my car's on the back because I bought the cheap parking, so I gotta walk all the way to the back. And there's a girl in front of me, and we're walking the same way, but I'm walking fast. But I'm like, bitch, I don't want you. I'm trying to get my car. I'm trying to get something to eat. And I was like, my thumb hurts. I ain't trying to do that today.
It's tough because think about when we get back to the Trump and like, okay, I think that how I've heard it on I've heard someone, I can't remember how I heard it, but this is how I am. I never remember where I heard it from, but I remember it. Just imagine that girl is your mom, is your sister, is your niece. Yeah. Imagine that's someone you love, and that's like you don't want anybody ever say anything about them. That puts everything in a totally different perspective. So if Trump said, Derek's mom just comes up and I grab her by the pussy. Like, how would I be? I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, you would take...
I think as a man, you have to really think of, okay, imagine that's my mom and I'm someone else that's not me. Mm-hmm. What I want that person to say that's going to be respectful or mindful of how they feel and how they go about, their interaction right now. So when you're walking next to that girl to the same parking lot, I'm sure the whole time in her head, she's not thinking about, okay, when I get in my car, I got to go here. When I get in my car and I go here, then I got to get this done. Then I got to get this homework assignment done. I got to do this done. No, she's probably going the whole time, please don't grab me. Please don't talk to me. Please, like, she's probably freaking out in her head and trying to remain calm so she doesn't incite the situation. So I'm not saying that it's a man's responsibility to go out of his way to make every woman feel 100% okay, because that's not how the reality is. But I think at a certain point, you really got to think like, man, this is someone's daughter. This could be my daughter. If I was looking at some random guy in a video camera walk next to my daughter, how would I want him to act? Or if I was at a club and if I was watching my daughter at a club, and I want her to have fun, with her girls or whatever, but do I want to see this guy come up and grope her with his dick, like as if he's trying to dance on her and shit?
What if you saw your daughter do something? What if you saw your daughter incite the first movement, the first physical touch that allows that groping to happen? Because I feel like there's 3 different type of males. One that's not going to do anything. One that's going to wait until the okay is going to happen, and then one that's going to do it without any sign of acceptance. Yeah. And I think a lot of people are in that first 2, but that third one happens. Sadly, it does happen, but I think a lot of it is the middle one. It's like, I want you to do this.
It's an okay. So there's been girls you're like, I want to kiss her, but there's not like any indication that like I'll get the, I'll be able to kiss her. There's no indication. If I go in, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna win. No, it's like, oh God, give me something. Give me a little sign, and then she gives you that look, and you're like, is this it? Or is this it?
I mean, I've never like. Sometimes you get rejected too. Yeah, like you get rejected, but like you'll go in for the kiss, she'll like move away, but like if you move again, then she'll kiss you. So you see, there's a lot of situations. I'm telling you, think about it.
No,
you're
right. You're right.
Think about it. Like, think about like the first kisses you've had. Like, I remember like this girl went on a date with her, right? And she was so stunning. And I was like, oh, just like, man, this feels bad the way if I'm talking out loud. I just want to kiss you. I just want to grab you and kiss you. I want to physically to hold you down and kiss you. But
hey, buddy, that's sexual assault.
But so what happened was we were at I think it was Disneyland, downtown Disney. We went to go get food. God, see, never go on a first date and get food. But this time,
Oh yeah, in the last podcast you were talking about never go
new.
get a woman food or a drink on the first
ago.
date. Okay.
No. You can buy her drinks. At least one drink is round for round. That's what I usually like to do. But at least never buy food. This was something different though. I really wanted this. I played this differently. But anyway, so we're walking to her car. That was always my move. Walk to their car. I sat in there, we're talking, and I go in for a kiss. She like dodges me, and then we're talking again, building it back up. And I go for the kiss and trick her. I juke her out, and then our lips meet, and I kissed her, and I was like, yes, you know what I mean. But she enjoyed it too, and we hung out again after that. Everything was great, it was cool. But I think there's different situations though, because then that could have been some type of assault, right? I mean,
I heard it like this. Okay.
It wasn't like a no. She was just like, can't get this yet.
We're trying to define sexual assault. So think of, let's go back to the Trump. Trump said this horrendous thing of, hey, women just come, you grab them by the pussy. Women come up, you could do this to them. They throw themselves at you.
Yeah.
Now let's think of a lot of these Instagram models. How many dudes do they have in their DMs that they get to select from? How many NFL, NBA players, how many big timers are contacting, these women? And then what are they saying? What are they saying in private? Because a lot of these conversations that Donald Trump has gotten busted for are like, what's the guy the Donald Sterling? Remember, he got busted with his girl, and he got kicked out.
No, he got busted for saying something
he said,
racially thing.
He said, yeah, I don't mind if you talk to them, but don't take pictures with the black guys.
Yeah.
And so he was in the confines of his own home, though. So, yeah, he's racist, but he's a pretty shitty racist because he was employing these people at the same time. I don't like them, but I'm still going to pay them.
Yeah, but I think when you're in that status, things hurt you because he's like, this is the girl I'm dating and this is who she's hanging out with. Yeah. And it's not going to be accepted amongst his friends, his investors, his core group of individuals. Mm-hmm. So and from that standpoint, it's almost the same of like, well, okay, I shouldn't take pictures of the black guys, but I shouldn't be in a strip club. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't be taking photos with your career, like with alcohol. If I'm someone who's in a public figure or something like that, I shouldn't be in any of these situations that people might get offended by. Yeah. And it's like, well, I can't. Why am I offended by black people though? You know what I mean? So
yeah. Well, okay. So let's keep
the same line.
Let's keep going into the topic. So Donald Trump is used to a lot of women throwing themselves at him, and yes, girls do throw themselves at him because he's rich, he's famous, he has money. You'd be naive to think that he's not. An Instagram model has an insurmountable amount of men who try to contact her a day. And so what is she saying in private? Man, I can have any man I want, these mud ass. And yes, these women have these conversations.
What's a mutt?
A mutt is like someone that, oh God, now you got me trying. Okay, a mutt is like someone that's a breed of a lot of different things, a lot of bad things. Okay. That is just like, gosh, you're not even like a pure person. You're ugly. You know what I mean? You're ugly in your emotions, your behaviors, your actions. Like mutts will follow girls. Mutts will like, if a girl says, hey, come here. Oh my God. You know what I mean? Like when I said goodbye to my girl right now and she was like, you're coming after the podcast. And I was like, yeah, I got a couple things to do. And then you go, man, Derek, you better watch out. She can call any dude and he'll be right over there. And I was like, yeah, some mutt would. You know what I mean? Some girl called me over there right now and I was single and I didn't really know her. I'd be like, shit, I got a meal prep, girl. I don't know, like someone. No, but
home? See, you played it perfectly. When you're in a relationship, you can't keep giving her that yes all the time. I'm always gonna be there. You gotta make her wait on it. You do you make yourself better. She's gonna think, oh, that's sexy. I know he's working better to be with me and stuff like that. Even though she really wants you, I keep her like, oh, I can miss you, and then her emotions go through the roof when you're gonna see her tomorrow. Or
But okay, back to the topic. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. But okay, so now we have examples of both men and women doing the same thing. And yes, you're a damn liar if you look at Trump and go, that's just the most horrendous, nasty man. And that he really is nasty. He really is a horrible person. And, he's the one who enacted the repeal of net neutrality. And so as we continue to get into that later, you got to look at people, and people talk and they say a lot of shit behind closed doors. So now let's define sexual assault. How the hell do we define it? What is sexual assault? if I go up to a girl at a bar and I go, hey, like, you're beautiful. Can I buy you a drink? And she goes, oh, Pops.
I'm gonna take your money. Of course.
Derek's a pretty handsome guy. I'll take your money. Or, oh, he's a handsome dude. I'll have a conversation to see if it's what this is hitting for. Now imagine I go and maybe she's pissed off. Maybe she's just not feeling it today. Maybe I didn't have the energy. And I go, oh my God, you're beautiful. Can I buy you a drink? No, go. Oh, go away. Go away. And then, so if I called her beautiful, is that sexual assault because I'm complimenting something of a physical thing, a tangible thing? Her body is a tangible thing.
And so you're saying no to that?
Yeah, so I don't know. Is that sexual assault? Is it only defined on when the girl does and doesn't want something?
Let me ask you, so then what was the conclusion? Or what was your thoughts or thoughts about the girl walking in New York for a couple hours and all mostly minority black or Puerto Rican guys, Mexican guys saying, damn girl.
Oh, so there's a YouTube video out for maybe those that don't know.
Tons of them.
Girls do this, and it's mainly feminist, and it's kind of hilarious at that. They'll wear something provocative. They'll wear something provocative to incite men when they walk by to catcall. So I mean, one, I think catcalling is so pathetic. Like, that's just me. Like, there's been girls that walk by and like, I'm like, damn.
I know, but catcalling for me is hilarious. Not to do it.
Yeah.
Like I told you, remember I told you in Vegas like a couple years ago, I was with a girl there and she had a large, what do you call it? Buttocks. Trying to think of the proper term there. Derriere. Dare I say?
Dude, you're black. Just say it. She got a fat. Say it.
Yeah, you say it. You have a better black voice than me.
You got a fat ass, girl.
Yeah. So what happened was, we're outside the club XS hanging out, and they're just with their friends, and a black dude comes by, and he just stops, looks, and I knew he was gonna say something. It was so loud too. I thought he had a mic with the DJ on. He was like, "God damn, that's a fat ass!" And then next thing you know, dude, she just felt so uncomfortable. She like comes into my arms, is like, "Oh my God, just hold me, get him out of here." Yep. And he was like, "Damn, girl, I'm just trying to get your Instagram. I'm trying to just look at some pictures." And I was dying too, because black people think that's funny. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not. It's uncomfortable. It's rude.
But is that assault?
It's not assault.
And let's make it very clear right here. I myself I want to protect women because we have a stronger nature. We have stronger things about ourselves to protect women. So like, I naturally just want to defend women, but I want to remove all my biases, all a woman's bias when they look at a situation where a man might be doing or saying something. And I want to say, I just want to have an honest conversation about what is sexual assault. Okay, so just going through the examples, the first and foremost thing that would be sexual assault is anything that has to do with physical touch. You don't need to be touching anybody. The minute you touch somebody, depending on how it is, how soft, how hard, who you are, I mean, there's a million variables, but if a girl doesn't want you to touch her, you shouldn't touch her. If you're at work and you're in a little cubicle and that's your world, you're there for 50 hours a week, and then you just like touch a girl, you touch Sandra, the receptionist, on her lower back. Hey, do you think you can print me out a copy of that TCP, the cover report? I'm gonna need a copy of that. And your hand's on her lower back, and she just feels you kind of like brush it up and maybe brush it a bit down, and she's just like, oh, this fucking creep. And like,
I'm trying to think of the HR policy on that. It is a violation because you made someone feel uncomfortable, and it is a physical touch. But I actually had a problem with that. I don't like to be touched too. Like, I don't like people like coming around me on my neck or giving me like, just don't touch me. You don't have to use your words. That's why you have a voice.
Yeah.
Use your words. Don't touch me. But yeah, that is a violation. But for me, you're trying to protect. You're trying to help women get that voice out of it that's not right. Mm-hmm. And change things, and you're also trying to protect the males that are actually innocent.
Yeah.
You're trying to fight against false claims and stuff. And for me, my strategy for doing that, which I've done, is to not be the person I actually am, not to be me. So basically, if I meet somebody and I don't know what their intentions are, but if I do something that I live a lifestyle that is a fast life, you live a fast lifestyle or something like that, you just have a different name. You have a different name, you have a different phone number, and that's the way. If something happens, you're off the map. But you have to know that you didn't do anything wrong. But say if you go home with somebody or something like that, and something happens. Mm-hmm. And then you're just like, oh, I'm gonna get her phone, delete my name, delete my contact. She can never find me because I don't know what she's gonna do. Yeah, we've all been in situations where it's like, was that a catch or wasn't a catch? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like what the rule book says. It's like, well, I didn't do anything, but she might try to have a case against me. That's the scary part, and it's only getting worse and worse.
So, like I said, we need to have an honest conversation on what is sexual assault, but to further defend women, imagine if a woman feels uncomfortable, and yes, things are still very much male dominated. It's not all. There's women in very high positions. And so basically, when a woman's uncomfortable emotionally, how do you think that makes them feel in the workplace? When someone is touching them, even if it's so subtle, but it creates this little defense. And now think of, okay, if I go to HR, this is why a lot of women probably don't report rape. It's not just the one incident. They're going to have to deal with this shit for about 2 years of court cases. Mm-hmm. If they have to tell HR, guess what? Now they're going to have to go, and she's going to have to confront this man, and something that could be so, small could be magnified, and everybody in the office is going to know. Or if you were raped, everybody was going to know you're raped now, and it's going to be public news and public information, and you're not even safe from the confines of society now because, it's so wide open. And so that's why it's probably really scary that when a woman feels sexually assaulted or they feel uncomfortable, they don't know what to do. So maybe that's why a lot of women aren't coming out, or they're all coming out together, because there probably is safety in numbers. Like, okay, I'm not the only one, and I know it's okay. I could feel good coming out and knowing that, at least people will listen. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's important. I don't think that that's ever really been present in our society up until probably now. And like I said, if we're going to have an honest conversation, I think one thing that men need to realize is, one, I'm not going to say it's okay to catcall, but women, if someone catcalls you, you can't just chalk that off as assault. But can we? See, I don't even know.
I think they made it illegal, or they're trying to make it illegal.
Like catcalling?
Yeah. My thing is, just go over and say, hey, I like your style. I'd like to talk to you for a second if I could, get to know you. Can I grab a drink with you? Instead of catcalling her. That would be the best approach. But I don't know, man. It's scary out there.
But like I said, what if I go to a bar and a woman doesn't want to talk to me? Is that assault?
Move on to the next one.
Okay,
but it's not assault.
It's not assault. But in her eyes, what if it is? And what if Steve took a shot? So in the workforce, in the workplace, the reason it's so hard is that's your world. Imagine, okay, I will never work in an office. I run businesses. I have a totally different set of circumstances. But for the majority of people, they work in an office. What if there's a pretty girl working with you? You see her every day. You see her more than your girl. She brings you papers to sign stuff. She's like, I'm not going to just chalk her off as a receptionist. You work with her. You're in meetings with her. You laugh with her. You go on lunch with her. You're constantly.
See, that's where you.
Well, that's
what you can't do.
I'm saying. It's your work. It should be totally innocent. But eventually, like, you start fighting with your girl at home. Things kind of go a little bit weird. And Jennifer at the office never yells at me. She always seems to understand me. She helps me when I need to get a gift from my dad. She knows exactly what I should get my mom for Christmas. And my wife's always pissed at me. And it escalates. And eventually, you're cut off from the world. How often do you have chances to meet other people?
What did you watch last night?
I'm just saying. And so, are you never allowed to hit on someone at work?
That's not sexual assault. That's more of, you know what? I've been asking this question ever since I got to this new company. I've been there for 6 months now, and I've been asking because there's a lot of relationships in the same building. Like I'm not talking about
that's
one.
That's not supposed to be happening.
Well, it's private companies. They can do whatever they want. But it's more like probably like, I don't know, 20, 30. like relationships, like people are married, like married.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how does it even happen? Like you start from coworkers, strangers, stranger coworkers to coworkers, coworker friends to I guess close friends, and then you know, like how does that happen? And then how do you get married? Like it's so crazy. Like how do you like go up to somebody without crossing any HR lines, without making it feel uncomfortable, and without breaking any legal rules? Like what do you? I don't get it.
Well, I think it's impossible to stop sexual assault cases in the workforce unless you have an absolute rule. You are not allowed to ever talk to anybody or date anybody or have any relations with them in a company. I think that's the only way. Because if there's like if you feel like it's sexual assault, but yeah, dudes and women will always take their shots. There will always be flirting. It just depends on, I don't want to be flirted with this time, sexual assault. Or what if these girls were like laughing at all of Steve's jokes and he just mistook it and put his arm on her lower back and was like, damn girl, like maybe we can go get a drink, you know? And she's uncomfortable. They're alone in his office, but he thought that she was into him, you know? Because if I was to do that at the club and go to a girl and be like, put my hand on her back, it's loud in the club. Hey, why don't you just come swing by over here and me and you would just talk. You know, I'll get you a drink and don't even worry. She's like, ew, like, no, we're not going to do that. Tiffany, can we go to the bathroom? Girls' exits are go to the bathroom. You should know that by now. If a guy's bugging a girl in the club, they'll be like, I want to go to the bathroom.
Or my friends are here, or I gotta get my friends, or sometimes it's even the silent exit, the silent goodbye. They have this look that they will do to know if they're uncomfortable or not, and then they'll go. You don't even have to like. You don't have to hear anything, but I'm so good at like observing people, you know, when that look's happening, like you know when to go in. Like there's been situations where you get like, oh, let's just pop right in here because that's about. I know he's backing out of that parking spot. Like, he's just coming. Those lights aren't on yet, but give me 3 seconds. But
okay, so maybe sexual assault happens like this, and I think we might have found something. What if only sexual assault happens is because there's no way to get away for these women? So think about it. If you're at the club, how many times does a girl find like themselves in a weird situation? Some guys talk, but they have the opportunity to get up and leave. They don't have to see this guy ever again unless they go to the same club frequently and the guy frequents to the same location. But in the workforce, because Steve, the news anchor, touched her lower back, made an attempt at her, and she goes, no, now there's a total discomfort that's going to rest, you know, forever. Have you ever gotten rejected and you still have to see the same person? That's really weird. You ever ask a girl out? Okay, you ever ask a girl out in like high school or college, and she goes, nah, I don't really like you, and then you still have class with her? That shit is awkward. Maybe sexual assault happens because, okay, maybe these guys did do the cruel things that they're being accused of, but maybe some of the cases are, you know, like how we've been explaining, they touched him, or maybe he took an attempt at her and she just didn't want it, but now it's so uncomfortable, it's like killing them both inside, and you know, they're just trembling at the thought of having to go to another meeting, and so now they're like, I was sexually assaulted. I know, I don't mean to ramble, but now I'm reading a book.
No, I'm trying to think like... That's
a very good point.
I'm having trouble with the word sexual, because rubbing a hand on her back, is that sexual?
That's the hard part. If a girl doesn't want to be touched, what if I touched a girl, like I said, keep going back to the same example. I touch her back in the club because it's kind of like, I'm not trying to be sexual. I'm just trying to inform her, hey, I am right here. You know, like, I'm right here.
Even though she could see you. I mean, yeah. You could feel my lower back.
Yeah, I get it. But, okay, let's put it like this. In a book by Mark Manson, it's the book How Not to Give a Fuck, or The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. There was a girl, and the example goes, our minds are extremely unreliable, incredibly unreliable. So basically in this example, this girl accused her father of raping her when she was little. And the example goes, she accuses him really fast and tore the whole family apart. Family, friends, it went deep. Some people took the dad's side, and some people took the daughter's side when she was like 30-something. She was probably like 40, actually. And so it starts backpedaling to her history. When she was in high school, she had a bunch of issues. And then when she got to college and she had a bunch of issues, and eventually she's like 30 and she starts joining feminist groups, right? And then in these feminist groups, they start talking about the defense of women, and a lot of these girls in these parties have been sexually assaulted, raped, molested. And the girlfriend that she was with was in a toxic relationship where every time she would try to leave her, she would say, I'm sorry, I was raped, and it makes me act this way, and it makes me feel uncomfortable. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to tell you I didn't love you. And so eventually she feels guilty because she hasn't been sexually assaulted. And so eventually she starts conjuring up this story in her head because she wants to feel compatible with this world of feminism and all these other things that she lives in. And so eventually one day she starts thinking, have I been sexually assaulted? Damn, it's like 35, 40 years later. I think I was sexually assaulted. That's why I can't get my shit together. That's why I have these thoughts of whatever it is. And then she goes to accuse her dad of sexual assault. And so the story, and it's apparently a true story, apparently the story ends with years later. Oh, this is why. She was seeing a therapist, and you know how therapists, they try to get things out of you, deep repressive memories. Mm-hmm. And so while all this is going on in her life, the therapist is like, there must be a deep repressive memory that you have that's making you feel this way. And we might chalk it up to some form of sexual experience. And I think we really need to like hypnotize you or something like that. And there's a new technique where it's deep repressive memory reformation, and we're going to get all your deep memories out.
Did she have that done?
Yes, so she did. And thousands of therapists ended up getting sued because of it. And so she pulled up a false memory of herself being raped. And that's when she ended up accusing her father of raping her and molesting her when she was a child. And years later, she realized, oh shit, she brought up a fake memory because I manifested it through my own mind. And she went to go tell the dad, I'm extremely sorry. This is what happened to me.
Wait, was he in jail?
No. For some reason it didn't go. I don't know why it didn't say anything about jail. But she told the dad and the family I was wrong. And like, it just made things worse. Like he never stopped. He never talked to his daughter again, and she spent her whole life trying to... I mean,
why would you? Because it's like, well, tomorrow you're going to change your mind?
Yeah. And so...
Wow.
Okay, so now we see Steve Edwards and all these other people getting
Dustin
accused.
Hoffman's a new one yesterday.
Yeah. And so we see a lot of these women, and let's make it clear, I am not defending these men at all. They're accused of something so horrendous, they should be in trouble if they are wrong. And so just to put it blank, do they even remember what happened correctly? By the time we tell stories 15 times over, we don't remember shit. Man, you know how many times I've told a story about me catching a football and getting knocked out when I was in high school? The story changes every time, and I know. I make it more like I was like a hero who caught the interception, and I was dipping and dodging, and I was like a hero, like I was so triumphant. You would have thought I had a cape on. I weighed 140, but these monsters, like they fucking came from Space Jam, were just attacking me, and I got to the 1 yard line and I scored. Yeah, I got knocked out, but I scored. No, what happened is I caught it. I ran into the middle of the field because I was so, blacked out from just being so excited. My first interception in a football game, and I got knocked out. Got my ass knocked out. But the story I do notice is a little bit embellished or is a little bit different.
Yeah.
So it's almost impossible unless there's evidence what's really happening. And like I said, need to have an honest conversation. What is sexual assault?
It's in the class of rape. I'm looking it up right now, the legalese, and I can read the definition. It's sexual assault is a sexual act in which person is coerced or physically forced to engage against their will. It also is defined as non-consensual sexual touching of a person. Sexual assault is a form of sexual violence, which includes rape, in parentheses, forced vaginal, anal, or oral penetration, or drug-facilitated sexual assault.
Wait, so what's that the definition of sexual assault?
Sexual assault. And so basically we have it right. I mean, it's anything from groping to rape to drugging. I mean, that's what it is. So I mean, so if he was charged based on the letter of the law, he either touched a woman inappropriately in a matter, or he actually rape them.
Wow. So sexual assault is actually not just I put my hand on your back, I asked you on a date, and now we're stuck in this fucking same office together and we can't escape.
No, I didn't say that.
What?
No, I said...
But no. In terms of sexual, the definition, the hardcore definition that cannot be changed because of feelings or emotions, this is the definition, right?
Oh,
so,
you're saying verbal sexual assault.
Yeah. So, like I'm saying...
Not ask you on a date. You mean he asked
It's scary out there. Am I allowed to hit on a chick now? I mean, I'm in a happy relationship, as are you. But let's say we were single. Are we allowed to hit on women and they're not allowed... Are they allowed to feel whatever they want and we're in trouble for it?
No, but I think you need to go a little further with that thought. Was maybe he asked for like, hey, we should go back to my house and do this, this, and this. Now that could be verbal sexual assault if the girl doesn't want to. But I don't know, because then it's more of a statement, more of a question. Now, if he would just kept insisting it, then there's a problem. And it's more of a force thing where she can't get out of it. So I think we're on a whirlwind of why is it like this? Why is it stated as this? Because I mean, it's crazy. So the stats are 1 in 4 women will be sexually assaulted by the age of 18. 1 in 6 men, or I guess boys, will be assaulted by the age of 18.
Okay, so by that definition, they are physically coerced to do something they do not wish to partake in.
Exactly. So if you rub a woman on her butt or her breasts, I would think that's, in terms of their back, I guess that could be sexual assault too.
I just want better for men and women, and I don't want every woman thinking she's been sexually assaulted, because sometimes it's just men taking a pass. And yes, there are proper ways of doing it. There are ways of not being a creep and not being perverted. But in the defense of men and women, because like I said, I feel like I've been raped. I said no. I didn't want to go through with that. I legit didn't at the time.
Yeah, but did you do anything physically? You verbally said that, but did you do anything physically?
And this is where I can't remember.
Did you make a football move?
I don't remember making that like fully bold move, because I don't remember being in control of myself. I don't remember having full reign on my ability to make a decision.
So how come you didn't press charges? Because of the fear or the backlash you think you'd suffer?
Oh, no, because I ended up dating her later.
Oh, this is ridiculous. People are going to listen to this and think this is a joke.
No, this is not a joke. This is not a joke. But like, men take things differently. Men take things differently, and I myself take things differently. And so I don't know. That's mine. I won't say anything other than that.
I from sitting here and looking at you, if I was a defender,
but by definition, hold on.
You're right.
If we're doing by definition, no means no. That's been the defense for all rape cases, all sexual assault cases. So by definition, I remember out loud saying, I don't want this, which is another form of no. I remember saying, no, I don't want to. All forms of no. So by definition, I was raped. And it's not like something I'm saying like, oh, I was happy, you should get raped too. No, not at all. I'm just saying, like, in hindsight, looking back, I go, holy shit, it's that easy. It's that easy. How many girls you think look back and go, oh shit, I got sexually assaulted. That shit just happened. And it doesn't even register. Or we're raped and we're thinking like, it wasn't like I'm choking you and punching you type rape, but it was a type like, I really didn't want this to happen. I don't know how it got here. And maybe that's why they don't press it, because they're still trying to process it. So
for me, I just don't see how you can be ready to perform. I mean, like, do you remember how long it lasted?
I don't. And that's why I don't want to botch the story with inconsistent, because this is a very serious thing. I don't want to botch it with inconsistent things. I remember thinking as she laid next to me, get away from me. Get away from me. And she ended up staying and sleeping in one of my damn t-shirts that I never got back. And that's fine. But I remember kicking her out the house the morning, and I was thinking like, you bet, just walk faster. Walk faster. Walk faster. Drive off faster,
Man, I don't know. I don't.
Okay. So we've had a lot of talk about this, and let's go back into Trump. Trump's a monster. Trump's an asshole. He's a sexual assaulter. Is that a word? He's a sex assaulter.
Yeah.
He's all these horrible things, and now he basically is the reason net neutrality has been repealed. So that's something I would have liked to discuss with you. Coming into this, you don't really know what net neutrality is.
No,
right?
yeah, and for our listeners, I bet there's a lot of confusions on both sides. So let's hear what it is and why it needs to change. Like, what do we have now?
Okay, so
and why does it need to change?
In 2014, Obama made a mandate. A mandation, is that a word? A mandation?
No, mandate.
Okay, a mandate. Excuse me. There we go. I'm making up words. It's like when people say, "It's." Well, I used to have a guy that goes, "It's all in your opinionization."
Or converse.
Yeah,
a converse.
I love to conversate with somebody. No, it's converse. Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, net neutrality is the principle that the internet service providers must treat all data on the internet the same and not discriminate or charge differently by user, content, website, platform, application, or type of attached equipment or method of communication. So let's make this simple. Whatever data you pay for has to work the same for every website you go to. So if you pay for 256 kilobytes per second, every website gets that same speed.
If you're pulling up 256, you're not getting anything. You're not even getting a letter.
Well, I'm saying is so.
Yeah, 300 megabytes.
Basically, what it's saying is Verizon, Comcast, AT&T, all the internet service providers can't go, hey, we don't really like Netflix. Mm-hmm. We're going to shrink their bandwidth, so whenever their viewers are watching Netflix, it's really slow as hell. They don't get the full... So even though the user paid for the best package, if he logs into Netflix and your internet service provider doesn't like Netflix, guess what?
Well, I think too is if that user that's streaming Netflix, if they have like a basic package, they need to upgrade to the premium, the highest package to get that high quality streaming content. And I've seen some ads like that. Yeah.
So basically, what they think is, or what happened. So Obama created a mandate in I think 2014 or 2015 that it's called net neutrality that defends basically. They basically want to view the internet as a utility like water, gas, and electricity. You can't just charge higher or not let somebody get as much electricity as they need. If they pay for it, they could get as much as they want out of it. Now they want to treat it as a utility in that this is a need now. I have 4 websites for businesses and my own personal website for books and DJing and whatnot that it's free. I get to go on the internet for free. So long as it's free, low class citizens can access, minorities, anybody can access it. So
low class citizens.
No, that's important because that's going to be affected probably first, small businesses and minorities and people with a struggling voice. So now Obama protected all that under the term net neutrality. So what happened is, and I guess, I don't know everything, so I'd like to just speak it out because it helps me understand better, is Trump believes that it's hampering some form of business or the internet service providers could do better. And we should actually research that right now. Like, what are the benefits of repealing net neutrality? Because these internet service providers think that they could do better than free internet. That if they were allowed to allocate resources or charge certainly for this or that, they could give a better internet experience that wasn't, present before. And so people are freaking out because a couple days ago, it just got repealed. And the last guy to give his vote was like Ajit something. He's, I guess, some Indian guy. And people are just bombing him.
Yeah, they got him with Pizzagate now. He's dancing with the pizza guy. What's what that's about?
Pizzagate with the sexual assault. I mean, the pedophile type thing?
No, it's called Pizzagate. It's a whole new thing. I think it's new now. But it seems like there's some, I don't know. I smell a conspiracy here. There's got to be something here for it.
Net neutrality vote, what it means for consumers. So the FCC voted on Thursday to end net neutrality, the regulation that ensured internet websites and services treated equally by internet providers. So basically, Netflix can have as much bandwidth as they want. My website is free. Other than through whoever is building it, or I'm hosting my e-commerce from. So now, as a small business provider, what they think is going to a small business, what they think is going to happen is, Derek, you want your flower shop website to be up there? Guess what? That's $100 a month in order to have that. Oh, okay. You want someone to be able to search for you? That's $1 per search to find you. So they think they're going to start creating all these mandates, like they can just squeeze it, and there's only 4 companies and they can monopolize. So watch. Let's see if we can find. I want to see those packages. So I'm sure everybody has seen those packages on Instagram or Twitter where $5 gets you Facebook, and $10 package gets you Facebook, MySpace, Netflix, and Google, or however it may be. What are you looking at right there?
No, I'm just trying to see what. I mean, there's just so much like sides to it. So what I was looking at, all the internet ISPs are on one side, and I think they're against it, and Microsoft, Apple, Google are for it.
Yeah, because I guess what it means is, imagine you're trying to access Google, or imagine, okay, it starts with Google. Everything starts with Google. So all the major, like Amazon, Google, Facebook, they hate it apparently. But I don't know why, so we'll go into that later. But okay, the new plane is set. I go on my laptop and I open Google. Now, in order for me to search, let's say I want to go to USC Trojans football website and look at some news about the next game, or I want to just find the game times. In order for me to type in what time is the USC football game, and that's $1 per search or 40 cents per search now, because your internet service provider can charge whatever the hell they want. Now, how often am I going to go on Google to look up any information now? I'm not. My internet usage is going to be cut drastically. And what's going to happen with Google stocks? What's going to happen with Google Maps, Google this, Google that? All these Google AdWords. No one's going to care because we're going to be getting charged. We're not going to be going on anymore. Netflix. If Comcast or whoever Netflix is a part of, so, hey, I want to go on Netflix. Oh, it's not in your Verizon package. It's only on Comcast. You want Netflix? Guess what? You're going to have to pay $20 a month for Netflix now to watch it.
It seems like that. I think there's a bigger picture here, though. But it seems like the citizens, the users might be getting screwed. That's what it seems like,
right?
Yeah. But what's happening right now? I mean, I guess they're trying to work those premiums in there, but I think there's going to be a bigger change that's coming. Now that this is repealed, there must be something big that's going to happen.
Well, what they don't understand is, why are Amazon, Google saying that they don't like it? Because they didn't say anything against it right before it happened, but then they released statements and saying what they were going to do after. And so I guess it bottlenecks everything, and they actually come out stronger depending on what happens. So let's say, for people that don't know, there's something called barriers of entry for a business. So for a new business, let's say I wanted to open up my own form of Amazon. What are my barriers of entry? Well, it's just, what the hell do you have to pay for and work out before you're, sustainable? You have to first...
You're able to have day one of a business open.
Yeah. So how many plants do I have to have open? How many delivery vehicles do I have to have? How much this and workers? Those are all barriers of entry. It's all the things you have to pay for in order to start your first sale. So now that the internet is going to be bottlenecked, apparently, the internet's going to be bottlenecked and it's going to be expensive to probably host a website. That's another massive barrier of entry. And if not everybody can access your website because they don't know about it, and they're not going to pay, $5 extra a month to just look at something they don't know. They're just going to go to what they already know. Yeah. Because they're not going to try to spend money to see new things, what the internet is free for. They're just going to stick to what they know to get in and get out. They're not going to keep searching. Like, sometimes I get down rabbit holes and I start looking up random shit. How much weight can a jaguar carry up a tree? Like, I look at weird shit. And then, an ant can carry 10 times its body weight? It could carry a leaf. That's fucking heavy. And so, like, I'm not going to look up those things anymore because it's going to charge me 40 cents to do so. So small businesses are probably going to disappear. So I have flower shops. What happens with Teleflora, FTD, 1-800-Flowers? They're massive entities. They have less barriers of entries from me. They have a lot more money to spend to keep a website open. And I have less. So do I get shut out eventually? Or what if someone has to pay 40 cents to look up a florist near me? Are they just going to say, fuck it, I'll just go to Stater Brothers and pick from what's the fridge? It's too, it's too much.
Well, what do you think about Amazon? Because Amazon, you know what they're doing right now to the shipping business is creating more barriers to entry for the small businesses, for the single users. And for me, so when I was doing eBay back in like 2008, early on, 2006, 2008, you charge like $3-5 for shipping to ship something across the country.
Yeah.
I remember shipping stuff to Hawaii, like a lot of clothes and stuff like that. It was cheap. Didn't even see it. Now it's like minimum $10 to ship something, and that's out of your bottom line. And the reason that's happening is because Amazon made a deal with UPS to basically they're basically subsidizing them with all their trucks, all the fuel charges, and we're paying that. Now we have to pay all those fees. So I think that's an issue right there. That's going to become an issue. And what does FedEx and USPS do is the same thing. They're just going to match those charges. So now it's so hard for a business to stay alive. For a small business, for an individual who has working out of their home to stay alive, is because of those shipping costs.
Yeah.
And Amazon's making it harder. And
so that's what I'm saying. A lot of people are pointing out, hey, these companies, yeah, they're saying they're against it, but they're not really freaking out. It's kind of weird, don't you think? Because they think that, okay, if the internet is regulated and people get charged up the ass for every little thing, I'm not paying $200 to go to the internet a month. I'll have to figure out something else. There might be another internet that comes up that whatever, it might be better. But these companies are basically going to win. These major companies that are already set, you're basically saying, hey, smaller companies, fuck you. So that's just the information I know. But that's really scary. That's really scary. What about low-income families that can't afford anything much? And the internet provides them information. They could pay their bills. They could do a number of things. Like, does my website get charged to go on? How does this get regulated? And so they say a lot of these companies are suing. At least 6 states are suing right now.
The
or
FCC?
Something. Yeah, the FCC
wow.
for... But then they're also saying, this has only been going on for 2 years. The internet never got taken over. What are you guys freaking out for? You damn liberals like to just panic for every little thing.
It all takes time. Just a slow change. Everything's a slow change.
Man, they think Pornhub's going to start getting you got to like pay up the ass to look at Pornhub.
That doesn't affect me.
I'm just saying. There's a couple people in their car, a couple people sitting at their house cleaning, and they're like,
drop their phones right now? Yeah.
What? Damn it.
You better download all those videos right now.
You know what's going to be big? LimeWire is coming back. Mark my words. LimeWire is going to come back in lieu of this.
There's FrostWire and there's Pirate Bay. That's the new LimeWire.
Pirate Bay is in trouble though.
Yeah, but Pirate Bay, all they do is change the last couple digits of their address, and they're good. They're back up again.
Do you feel like if you were in the Congress? Okay, imagine if you were president. Do you feel like you do a way damn better job than like?
No, because at the heart as a human, we're all selfish. And so we get that power, it's going to start changing. It's just like when you get money, you start doing other things, right? You start getting, remember, think about your grocery money that you had from the grocery store.
Yeah.
What did you do with that money?
Oh, when we used to work at Stater Brothers together.
Yeah. What did you do with that money?
Shit, I was in college.
So I'll tell you what I did with my money. I would be going to In-N-Out. I would probably buy... I don't know, something small, maybe a shirt or something like that. That's it.
Yeah.
Now that I have different money now, what am I doing?
You partying all the time.
Exactly. Oh, let's go out to eat. Let's go to this restaurant. Let's get a table. Let's do this. Let's get this bottle. Let's go to this vacation.
Damn.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what happens. And so just like that power and that selfish, I'm not going to hurt this. I'm only hurt one person. Right now, you're probably hurting a couple people right now. And now I want to hurt a ton of people now that I have the power. I was me. More money, more fame, more women, whatever it is. More status. They're always doing something. And it's just like House of Cards. I believe it's just like House of Cards.
Damn, it's just like Kevin Spacey, huh? Just like Kevin Spacey. Sexual assaults coming in right now.
I mean, I feel, you got to feel bad because it's just like, man, everybody's probably mad too about this. They ruined a good show. But I mean, it's sad that what has happened.
Well, There's gosh, I can't remember shit. We'll wrap it up right now, but there's a guy. I think it's too much power for one person to just have, and I don't think he knows what the hell he's doing. Think about when you run a business or when
the
you
president.
Yeah, he don't know.
No, they have the 3 branches of office. That's why they delegate the power.
Yeah, I get the delegation, but
so it's
I think
really
there should
not.
I think we should delegate by the people that actually fucking know what they're doing. Let me put it like this.
Okay, how do you?
I think that there should be like I could be the spokesman for America. I'm the spokesman for America. So what that means is
Like Ryan Seacrest.
yes, I'm the Ryan Seacrest of America. So basically, we have 100 members who decide everything in our country, but there's 50 groups within this. Or no, that's not the math. There's 20 groups of 5 people. So for technology, we have Elon Musk. We have this kid who built like a nuclear reactor out of like his backyard. And we have like 5 people that handle technology. So Elon Musk, as soon as Elon Musk is in the congregation, he's going to be like, all right, we're fucking putting Tesla batteries on everyone's house and we're bringing sustainable energy and da-da-da-da. The tax money will pay for it. And then from here on out, it'll be clean, renewable resources. And then you have roads and economy, infrastructure. You have 5 people, like people who are actually in construction, they can't have self-interest. I mean, there'd have to be a lot, but people who build infrastructure and who would know what would be the best for our services and everything, right? And then you keep having all of these like philanthropy and whatever it may be, the food, and you have all these different 20 groups, and like once a month they have to go and present their findings, their PowerPoints, and whatever they want to the other 100 people that are incredibly geniuses, have to have an IQ of this amount. And so eventually they all vote on it. Yeah, Elon Musk, we all like your idea of eventually getting solar panels on everybody's houses, that it's going to reduce fuel emissions, it's going to reduce carbon monoxide. We're going to support this. And then the spokesman, Ryan Seacrest, goes, "Good day, LA, America. How are we doing today? We have reached a consensus on the energy crisis." And
he doesn't work for Fox. He works for ABC too.
I'm saying, man.
But I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like the idea because self-interest. How do you select these 5? How are they qualified? You know what I mean? How do you know that they don't have self-interest somehow? A blind shell company. How do you not know? And why are they so important to just because what they've done? You know what I mean? Because how do you know the direction? No,
politicians half the time they don't know what the hell they're doing.
It's all self-interest. I don't think you'll never have a perfect world.
Just
never
let me be president. World. Oh, I'm yanking the blanket. I'm yanking the damn everything. I'm pulling the rug underneath it.
Seriously, if I was president, I'd shut down Sprint because they're the worst. Oh, actually, Sprint and T-Mobile because they're the worst providers ever.
You can't monopolize. See?
No, you still have 2. You have AT&T or Verizon.
Oh gosh.
And I'll keep Cricket out there for everybody who can't pay $50 a month. But I mean, they would do stupid stuff like that. It would be like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and then like it's me. I think it should be this way. But
when it comes to like let's say health, and then we'll wrap it up here. Okay. Let's say there's 5 people in the group of health. You have a surgeon, a neurologist, a nutritionist, because nutrition is not found in the diets or the business model of any hospital. It's legit not. And then you have like I don't know, a couple other people that make it all well-rounded. They will argue in a group amongst themselves and deal with what's the heavy problem. Like, I don't want people that are going to agree with Elon Musk. I want someone that's not bat crap crazy. Elon Musk is against robots and technology and AI, all right? He's not against, but he's wary of it. I want someone that's totally for it, in that same group. And I want someone that's like medium, and then you want people in their own little technological fields. That's why I think it would be beneficial. They'll hash it out like, all right, I see what you're saying. You're smart. Let's do it this way. Let's let the people like build this way. I think it's too much for a guy who named Donald Trump, who's a celebrity, and I think it's too much for him to have to pick a cabinet. And he's all, fuck, I don't even know the economy works, really. I wouldn't know. No one really knows how it all works. That's why we're still all fucked up. But then there's self-interest. You're right. But just a different model. It's too much for one man to have on his shoulders. Everybody's constantly talking shit to him. And he's like, oh, you can't talk shit to me? You watch how I do this shit. And yeah, it's too much.
You know what? I don't know. If you look at it from a economic point of view, what is he doing right now? The markets are booming.
Very true.
The markets are booming.
Very true.
And so, I mean, what's ridiculous right now is the housing prices, but the economy is great right now. When it was under Obama, what's happening? Can't argue that. So for me, I bet that he was going to be president. So he actually gave me money. So he put money in my pocket.
You bet on that?
Yeah, I knew that was going to happen.
Damn, how much you make?
Well, this show is going to be listened by the FCC, so there's going to be taxes and stuff like that. I can't tell you, but I mean, yeah, I thought it was going to happen. So I was pretty right on that.
Man, we covered some good topics
This
today.
is pretty long today. We got next show. We got to cover 2018 goals. We're getting to the end of the year.
2018
we got to get a
goals.
head start on that. You need a couple days to think, to write, to analyze, to compare against.
We'll go through that this week personally, and then when we jump back on, we'll go through some of our goals, and let that be it. So, everybody, thank you for listening. Leave some comments. Let us know what we can better do. Well, we don't really give a shit, but let us know what you'd like us to talk about, what you want to hear our opinions on.
Saying it differently at gmail.com. I believe this is the last week for a lot of people to actually go out there and have a good, productive week. So enjoy your next 7 days. Thank you.